You've already sensed it. Wait. I'm checking to see that the correct microphone is working. That's an important thing. It is. Okay, cool. Then, yeah, let's make it official. You've already sensed it. There is a version of you living at a higher level than you're playing right now. Something in you knows that you've outgrown this. In this video, you become what you're called, not what you earn. I will show you the power of the calling, how to use it for yourself, how to use it for others. And I promise you, if you apply this in your life, you will not only change your life for the better, the people around you for the better, you will change the world in amazing ways. This started for me almost 30 years ago with a judo teacher of mine. A man that looked at a beginner and saw something different. This was, I don't know, somewhere in the 90s. Oh, no, yeah, early 90s. I had been living in New Mexico and I almost died. Had dreadlocks down to here. I was still somewhat addicted to drugs at that point in my life. I went to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, ended up staying. Got back into judo. Somehow I knew. And there was a teacher there, Mr. Hayashi. He's about this tall, and I'm not that tall. He was a very high level. Like, his belt was red and white stripes. If you know anything about martial arts, that's like... whew. He was puzzled by me. He was a college professor. Here I am, hair down to here with dreadlocks. Nonetheless, one day, we're all doing our stuff over there, practicing. He goes, "Fuzzy head! Hey, fuzzy head!" That's what he called me, fuzzy head, because of the dreadlocks. "Come over here, fuzzy head." It's like, oh, I was scared of this man. So he pulls me aside and he says, I'm not going to do his accent. He says, "You can be black belt. You can move to black belt quickly." And I was thinking to myself, like, you got the right dude here? Because I had a white belt, and I didn't think I was very good. I wasn't very good. I mean, I wasn't horrible, but I wasn't very good. And I'd practiced a lot at earlier point in my life, from 16 to 18. At this point, I was 22, just after college. So he said that to me, and I was like, thank you. Okay. And then he said, this was the kicker, "From now on, you only play against black belts." In judo, we say black belts. We say play or fight. Fight above you means, he told me, you fight against only black belts. You can get a sense of what that meant for me, right? Now, let's connect the dots here. Something that Goethe said, great philosopher, playwright, musician. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as he were, what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. Whew, a lot of words. Let me make it more plain. Sometimes it's said this way. If you treat man as he is, you do him a disservice. If you treat man how he could be, then you ennoble him. Right? Lots of variations, different attributions. The point is, when we don't treat people like who they are showing up now, and we treat them as who they can be, it's an incredible gift. So what did that judo teacher do to me? Mr. Hayashi said, I don't know if he knew I was a drug addict, but fuzzy head, white belt, nonetheless, he saw in me something that I didn't see for myself. I didn't know I could be a black belt, and certainly not quickly. Right? Who else did this really powerfully? Someone everybody knows. Jesus, Jesus of Nazareth. What did he say? You will now be fishers of men. Right? These two brothers who were fishermen, fished for fish, and not that well. Right? Now you're going to be fishers of men. What does that mean? You're going to become prophets, disciples, teachers. Wow. Okay. Right? They believed him. I believed Mr. Hayashi. Jesus said to all of us, all this you shall be and more. So the first point I'm sharing with you here is called before you're capable. Mr. Hayashi called me way before I was capable. Jesus called those brothers way before they were capable. And this is what Goethe is pointing to. Call people what they can be. Speak to that potential in them. One more example I give you. One of my private clients, an incredible artist woman, when I reached out to her, she'd done a little course with me before, and I was in a new phase of my work, and I asking myself, okay, who would I love to work with? She came to mind. It's like, why? Because I see in her so much possibility, big heart, a lot of talent, rough background. I saw how much she didn't believe in herself, so I said, hey, I would love to work with you. I would love to work privately with you, which is a big financial investment. And she said to me, like, whoa, I didn't know I was capable of that. It was an uncomfortable financial investment, yet she believed, she trusted enough in herself, most importantly, and also in me, and has done some amazing work, made her money back times 50, I think. Incredible. So the calling. And by the way, the calling can be me calling you, you calling your friend, a coach calling the client. It can be Mr. Hayashi calling me. Ultimately, though, the calling has to come from us. We have to believe enough that, yeah, actually, I believe that is possible. Right? Whether we're leaning on the teacher or the coach's certainty or able to generate it for ourselves, there's a lot of power in that necessity to be able to call it for ourselves. Which brings us to point 2. Courageous before you're crowned. Because here's the thing. No matter whether it's Mr. Hayashi or the fishers of men, we're not going to be there yet. They say, I see that you can be a black belt. You can be fishers of men. Right? And we're not there yet. The current reality, the current evidence suggests that we're not. And if we just believe that, we're not going to be. So there has to be some spark in us. Great developmental psychologist Robert Keegan, title of one of his books, In Over Our Heads. And this is what he points to in some of the further stages of human development. Right? As we evolve, and no doubt you are here because you're already into personal and spiritual development. You're here because you are called to more and you know it, you sense it. Part of you is already leaning toward that. And so me now, I'm calling you into greatness. Who else is calling you to another level? And you can do it for yourself. You don't need anybody else to do it. Marty Supreme. It's a movie, fictional character. There's an amazing scene in there where Marty Supreme has failed epically. He's in rough shape. He's a ping pong player who has a dream. He has a belief that he can be the best in the world. And there's a scene where, I almost remember the actress's name. Anyway, the actress says to him, well, have you won this thing? No, not yet. Well, what if you don't? What's your plan B? I don't have one. Well, what if you're not right? What if you don't win that thing? Doesn't even enter my mind. That's power. Right? The power to be in over our heads. I'm going to swim. The power, for me, what it meant when Mr. Hayashi said you only fight black belts now, meant I got my butt whooped hardcore. Right? That meant every time we did free play, randori, like sparring, it meant that I would play these black belts and they would throw me around like a rag doll. It hurt. I don't know if I would say it was humiliating, but it didn't feel good. Certainly didn't boost my ego. Whew. He was right, though. There's a great quotation attributed to the Greek poet-philosopher Archilochus. Said, "We don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training." So we need the courage before we are crowned. We're not crowned as that yet. We need the courage to step onto the mat, to give the first talk, to make the first offer, to make a claim to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this. It takes courage. And that brings us to the third point, which is choose the call, not the current, which goes right back to what I said before. Current reality suggests I'm a white belt. I'm actually pretty bad at this thing. Right? Marty Supreme doesn't even enter my mind. Well, look at the evidence, dude. Right? You failed. Doesn't even enter my mind. That's the power that we all need in order to realize who we really are, to step into our greatness. To deny the current reality. Deny is probably not the right word. To look beyond it. To say, that's just something that's there right now. I can use it as learning. I can use it for feedback, but not for defining who I am and who I'm going to be. The cool thing about this is it only lasts forever. By which I mean there's always another level. Right? However we are called by others, however we call ourselves forward, right? We might get crowned. We might reach a certain place where we look back and we go, yeah, I remember when I was a white belt. Right? And for me, yeah, I did reach black belt level. And I can look back and remember that. But guess what? My belt doesn't have on it now red and white stripes. There's always another level. Which points to, for all of us, one, keep choosing bigger rooms. Keep surrounding yourself with people that call you into more greatness, and do the same for others. Right? Whether you're in a leadership position, coach, therapist, either way, there are people in your life, friends, family. And we're doing this all the time anyway. We're calling them to their greatness, or we're calling them to their ordinariness by accepting the way they are. And when I say accepting the way they are, I don't mean there's something wrong with you the way you are and you better not be that way anymore and you got to change, you're no good. I don't mean that kind of speak to their potential. I mean, yes, I love you as you are. Beautiful. Wonderful. I allow everything that's there now. And here's how I see you. Here's how I really see you. And where did this get messed up? It's people that gave up on their dreams, who were disappointed or hurt, who stopped before they reached that thing that they wanted, that they believed. Not wrong, not bad. Understandable. I'll tell you this, it was hard getting whooped around on the mat like that all that time. Right? Marty Supreme, even the fictional character, rough path. It is hard. It would be easy to give up. And the people that tell us to not set our sights too high, They're doing it from love, from care. They're also doing it from the projection of them having given up. Yeah, they don't want us to get hurt. But you know what? That's what life is about. Did I get hurt on the path to the black belt? Yeah, lots of times, of course. Did Bilbo Baggins get hurt on the way to Mordor? Right? And did he believe it when Gandalf came to him and said, Bilbo, you're going to do this thing? What? No way, I don't go outside of the Shire. So there's always more. There's always another level for us. And it means we get dirty. We get hurt along the way. Here's my invitation for you. Be called and call others. If anybody says to you, you can't do that, say, thank you very much for your opinion. I do not accept it. When you speak to someone else, that's okay. No, don't worry about it. Nah. Yes, it's okay. And here's what you can do. Here's who you are to me. Here's who you can be. Be affirming. Speak to people's potential. Love them into who they can be. Same for you. Have the grit and the courage to stay committed before you are capable, before you are crowned. And as we do this, and especially in the places where it really matters, which is not judo and it's not ping pong, although those are good laboratories, where it really matters is love. Forgiveness, love, encouraging, creating a world that is more beautiful. Right? That's where this counts. And when we practice it in judo and in ping pong and in business and in parenting, that's how we become who we are capable of becoming. That's where we practice loving and helping people to be who they can be. I hope that this video blesses you. I hope you take courage from this to step up into who you can really be. Right? Be called, call others into who they really are before you are capable. Be courageous before you are crowned. And choose the call, not the current. Choose the potential, even when current reality doesn't look that way. Thank you for being here. I love you. Aloha.